Good morning and welcome to the Meltdown. I hope you all enjoyed your holiday weekend, time with family and friends. This is that time where being able to trust in those that are with you, for you, and of course God, why all those facts will matter. Thank you for this day, and I ask for God's wisdom as I share the message of economic prosperity and distress, because there's a lot of it coming, folks. Okay, so here are some of the things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the slow start to this holiday season. And I listen to economists and I listen to other folks that are talking about different situations. And everyone wants to be really excited about the holidays, obviously, and the shopping season. Cyber Monday, I found that Jeff Bezos' take on drone deliveries within 10 miles of Amazon distribution centers is going to await a 2015 ruling by the FAA. But folks, we're getting to a point where if you're within, say, 10 miles of a distribution center that is owned by Amazon, you could have a drone drop a package 5 pounds or less to your door. Now, I got to tell you, the effect through the economy, while people were just in amazement, is that probably UPS and Federal Express are going to take serious hits. We'll talk about the stock market in a moment. So, looking at what people intend to do, the National Retail Federation, that's as bad as the U.S. government telling us what is happening in the jobs market or in the economy. National Retail Federation obviously supports retail businesses. And so they're going to spin this to sound as good as they possibly can. There's not a lot good. So when you tell me that 140 million Americans are going to be involved, my concern is that there's got to be a way to figure what's really happening out there. So what's really happening? I saw fist fights, I saw tasers, I saw pepper spray, and people all fighting over the opportunity to grab something off of a pallet at a retail establishment. The economy is in a sluggish start to the holiday season would be my take, as I agree with a couple of people that I read this morning. I worry that 140 million Americans are supposedly going to be out over the 4-day weekend. That's half the population. That was based on asking 4,000 people what they were going to do. Hello? How do you extend the opinions of 4,000 to get to half the population? That would be a little bit of a test. Now, I also worry about Cyber Monday. And the more we automate, the more that we streamline business, the worse it is for the U.S. economy, because they're eliminating jobs. That's something that Michael and I have talked about excessively. It's something you need to get into tune with. Now, I'm really tapering myself to get to the coin market and what's going on in precious metals, but I want you to know that the sequester, the issues that we continually have in our economy, affected, according to what I'm reading that's via CNN, FN.com, talks about food stamp cuts affected 400,000 meals a day. A day. That's 76 million meals out of the New York City economy alone. Folks, these decisions that are being made cannot be just blamed on, quote, the administration. As bad as we want to take shots at the president, this is a situation where Congress, where the House and the Senate make decisions based on the side of the aisle they sit on, not what's best for us. And I did hear a clip from one of the Sunday shows, the opinion of California representative making it very clear that we are in more danger today than we have been in the past couple of years because of terrorism. I had a good friend listen to some of what that ranting was by Osama bin Laden the day after 9/11, and when you get right down to it, bin Laden wanted to affect the world economically, and we spend billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in support of our freedom. And folks, we are gutting ourselves. Now, in 1873, I've talked about the Depression. It followed up with a 20-year cycle of 1893. Over those 20 years, we went through two serious dips. And I've talked about this going back into the 70s, 80s, 90s to current. And all we've done is created bubbles to extend the drops in the market. And so corroboration, manipulation, the things that I have the biggest concerns with in the economy are what you're seeing today. Today, I looked overseas when the markets opened last night at 5 o'clock and saw gold rising. Well, today, right now, it's down about 2 percentage points. I would call it almost in a free fall, but I'm not going to go quite that far. I am going to tell you that silver's taking a hit. Platinum is taking a hit. These are minor aberrations between about 0.5% and 2%. Seems like you'd wonder how low are we going to go. And so I'm going to tell you that depending on what cycle, what technical analysis you look into, I made this comment last week, the downside in gold potentially near term could be $1,000. And yes, that means that you're truly at risk for about a 20% correction. Personally, I believe that the stock market's going to take another big hit. And yes, it's down a couple of points right now. It was down relatively nothing in Japan overnight. They closed at 15,655. What that means essentially is that the markets are within 2 percentage points of each other right now, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei. The Dow Jones still trading over 16,000. We're getting near the top, and I'm going to tell you that I believe the top may not be much more than 18,000 near term. Yes, it'll be 20. Yes, it'll be 25, but the dollar's going to lose value. Currencies are going to lose value. Now, there is, as I said, several different ways to look at, quote, the economy. The crest cycle is one of them. I'll think of it in a moment. Bob Prechter created the Elliott wave. And so there's several different ways of analysis, where the tops are, where the bottoms are, what's the cycle. So if the true bottom in gold is maybe 940 to 980, call it $1,000, the upside to gold over the next 2 to 5 years follows the trend that we will test $3,000 to $5,000 an ounce in gold. People who diversify into precious metals are only using it as a hedge against the dollar, a hedge against the economy, because nothing's happening to the positive out there. I look at the XAU, that's one of those gauges, one of the indexes that would tell you whether the metals are going to go up or down. It's down 2.4 right at the moment, so the metals are trading down. Now, I can tell you that the silver to gold ratio 63 to 1. I can tell you that platinum is still trading at about a 9% premium over gold. It's been as low as 8% today. And the fact that the dollar looks strong against the world's currencies, the currencies that are up as the dollar's gone up today are the pound and the rupee. What does all that mean, Brett? What are you really telling me? I'm telling you that there's some downside risk, and if you're a day trader, go play in the futures market. I talk about physical ownership. I talk about different types of coins that you should own because of what's happening in the global economy. This is not going to be a situation that just affects the United States. It's going to affect the world. And I hear the labor numbers come out from other countries. I know that in the Ukraine, the government refused to get involved with the European Union, and riots broke out again. Nightsticks being thrown into crowds of people and just taking a shot at whoever you can hit. Well, this time when the economy does it, folks, it's going to be worse than we've ever experienced. Most of us remember the Great Depression, 1929, but I'm going to tell you that the effects in 1873 and 1893, before records were really kept about the banking system, were huge depressions. 1893 was so bad that silver dollars were affected by the U.S. Mint and very, very limited in their production. Back in the 1870s, we had a default of the railroad system as America was trying to get, quote, on the track, no pun intended. And those finance situations created so much leverage and so much chaos that things went upside down rather quickly. I look back to 1999. I know I'm 100 years in my swing, but Greece, when it entered the EU, cooked the books. They lied. It was kind of similar to what happened here in Houston to Enron. And so cooking the books made them look better than they were, and all of a sudden, everything's upside down. And so I want to have the right story. I don't want a good story. I want to tell you there's a fundamental reason to own different types of coins. And when you look at a silver American Eagle, and I've got a few people that would never do anything other than a 95W. I look at the fact that people misrepresent product, and they want to make it sound too good to be true. Well, I can tell you that in 1995, when the 5-piece set of silver and gold was produced, a 1-ounce silver American Eagle with a 95W mint mark, it's the first time a West Point mint mark appeared, you could have bought that coin inside of the set, and relatively speaking, you didn't have to spend a lot of money for it, a couple $100. Today, you can't touch one for much under $2,500 to $4,000. And if the coin grades 70, if it's a perfect 1995W in an NGC holder, you're going to spend $15,000 to $20,000 for it. The last PCGS coin that I can track sold for in excess of $86,000. So you got to allow for some profit for the dealer. Bottom line is that coin's $100,000. And so it matters who grades your coins. What I really worry about are the biggest companies that are out there capable of blasting out emails to tens and hundreds of thousands of people at a time. And one such company is touting a 2-coin set that there are 236,000 sets that hit the street. Now, it was a gross set of orders totaling 281,000 according to this report. And 45,000 sets ended up being canceled to get to the 236 number. I don't want to hear about how many coins ended up being made, over 200,000 pieces. The U.S. Mint knows what it's doing. And depending on how many coins you submit determines how many 69s or 70s or 67s you get. They're looking for a little lint mark or whatever that fact is that prevents the coin from being graded perfect. But my point is that don't believe everything you read. Let us help you do the shopping. Now, folks, I'm going to be in all day today. I'll be out tomorrow, but I should be in for the rest of the week. And you can reach me 281-548-2646. That's 281-548-2646. Hit option 0, and you get somebody who will answer the phone that's live. I'll either take the call or return it immediately. But ultimately, folks, this is that time where it's important to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and have a goal in mind. Now, I love coins and currency. I love precious metals. I love jewelry. I love all kinds of assets. My biggest concern is that we're going to be in a situation at a time where prior to economics going upside down, we've got to make some moves. And those moves require us to decide and maybe pray, talk to your spouse, your financial advisor, your next door neighbor, and start looking at 5 to 25% of your net worth and start moving it around a little bit. It's important to move things around and be ahead of the curve because JP Morgan is being investigated for not having metal on the ground with regard to GLD. Warehouse situations are light and inventories are low. That literally means that there's a problem out there. And the real problem is you don't know who to believe. You don't know what to trust. You certainly can't trust the markets because they're manipulated every single day. Folks, I want you to be prudent. I want you to be smart. I want to be able to help guide you. I want to answer questions for you, and I want to make sure that you buy coins that are either graded so low that they don't need to be authenticated and graded, or you're buying coins in NGC or PCGS holders because they trade on the wire network CCE. It helps bring everything to life, and ultimately there's liquidity there. Too many people are worried about what's going to happen down the road. I can tell you that Jeff Bezos has a drone system for Amazon. It's absolutely functional. The fact that he's got government red tape to go through, not surprising. Give him, he said, 3 to 5 years, and we will see drones flying around delivering things. Precious metals are going to rise. There's not enough metal on the ground, and if there was a big enough surge, you could see delays of 4 to 6 weeks. Again, we saw it 5 years ago in 2008. Things come up and show up unexpectedly at times, and I certainly won't condone bad behavior, but what I will condone is taking the time to ask for due diligence. You can email me anytime, Brett, BRETT, at thegoldexchange.net. That's BRETT at thegoldexchange.net. It's a time where you need to be able to put together 10,000, 100,000, a million or two. Make it discretionary, move things around. I look at the art market, the jewelry market, the car market. This is a market that has not been impacted to the upside. And yes, prudent money is moving around. The crest cycle that I mentioned, if you Google it, you'll learn a lot of information. But folks, this goes hand in hand with what Ben Bernanke and Tim Geithner were talking about. 2014 and 2015 are not going to be good years. They may be if you're in precious metals. They probably won't be if you remain in the paper market. Now, I'm hoping to be back between 2 and 3 o'clock. I'll put up the afternoon post. Like I said, I'll be out of pocket tomorrow, but ultimately this is that time where I really want you to pray and think about moving things around. If you're in CDs, if you're in annuities, if you're not happy with the returns, this is the time. Buy low, sell high. I know it's a cliche. The markets still have some downside. A third, and a third keeps you liquid for some of those funds to go into the cheapest metal in case the dip really comes. The rarity factor of semi-numismatic coins and rare coins makes them a real consistent place to put your funds. All right, I never get off air without thanking Texas Children's Hospital, the Downs Clinic, and the Ronald McDonald House. This time of year, I am asking for donations, a gift, a toy. And please drop it off at the Fannin campus. 500 children are expected to be admitted into the hospital over the next month. And fortunately, we that have something we can share is a simple toy for a boy or a girl. I went to one of the local retailers. It's a discount location, and was able to buy on Black Friday. There were no lines. I was able to get in. And I was able to buy probably 15 to 20 gifts that I'll look forward to passing on to the kids. Boys and girls, I got nice stuff for both genders and didn't have to spend more than $15, $20 on anything. They will so appreciate it. Mention the Meltdown just because I love Texas Children's. If you can donate, provide a tithe or an offering to the Downs Clinic. If you go to themeltdown.com, click on the link, register, give them your name, address, city, state, zip, the amount of your donation. That is all anonymous, and I have no access to it. You will get your 1090, I guess that's a charitable contribution receipt that you can take off of your taxes from the Texas Children's Organization. And of course, I love Dr. Ostermeyer and her staff. They've gotten so big that the Myers Center is now located off the campus a little bit south. but thank you to Catherine and her staff. The Ronald McDonald House at Texas Children's is on the 4th floor, and there are 20 rooms. They house between 40 and probably 70 people on any given night, so the families in the middle of the night can visit their children or go back and get some rest. Please call 832-824-8600. That's 832-824-8600. The Ronald McDonald House and the Downs Clinic have a very special place in my heart, and I appreciate you thinking about them at this time of the year or any. I appreciate the doctors, nurses, staff, and of course the volunteers at Texas Children's and throughout the medical center around the world. The children deserve our assistance and our prayers and our love. Anyway, appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back this afternoon. Have a blessed day. If you're in Houston, stay cool. It's going to get a little warmer tomorrow, but we're going to see a 50-degree swing by the end of the week. So take your vitamins. We'll see you this afternoon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.